How's the project going?
It's going great. And the reason it's going great is because we've got a hard deadline for the Hunt team to deliver the project by the 1st of September. And boys, when you're doing stadium construction, you got a hard stop because we have a soft opening for 64,000 plus people on September the 12th, and there's no alternative but to be done. So guys, one of the things we wanted to bring you guys out today, the South End Zone project, which is where we started this is the first of three phases. So we started with the students, and the southern end zone is primarily done for the students. We're picking up 6,500 seats here. One of the things that Coach Graham was really excited about with the reconstruction of the Sun Devil Stadium was the opportunity to make this the most hostile playing environment in the Pac-12 by creating what he calls the double inferno. So as you guys know, our student section is the Inferno, so this is phase one with 6,500 seats. We're bringing the students down into the lower bowl on the north end. So we'll have roughly 6,500 seats north, 6,500 seats south. So this is going to be an incredibly intimidating place to play if you're in the red zone and you're a opposing Pac-12 or other team from around the country. So it's going to be a great competitive advantage for ASU on the football side. So one of the things we're also doing to give you guys a sense of where we're going, the concrete that they're pouring today is the topping out of phase one is really the main concourse. So one of the biggest shifts in this stadium as we go forward over the next two phases is to basically create about 40,000 seats in the lower bowl. So this is going to be an incredibly intimate collegiate environment. So the biggest change that you guys will see over time is that the main concourse is going to get connected the entire way around the bowl, so that we'll start today with the first phase with the student end zone. We'll move over to the west side and then back to the east side. So by 2017, we'll have effectively a brand new stadium. So three phases. First phase is completed on September the 1st, and then we'll roll through the next couple of seasons. So the decision really was made by the athletic director and President Crow to get the students taken care of first, and we'll move on into the other areas of the stadium. And that's really kind of what we're doing. We're also doing a really unique research project with Intel, because this is really a living lab for the university. This is not just a football stadium. You know, we play football here probably 240 hours a year. There are 8,500 other hours where we're really trying to get the stadium energized for other things. So the students have been actively engaged, as well as the community, the overall ASU community and the Tempe community, on how to use this place when we're not playing football, because it's a huge investment of $256 million is what SABOR has currently approved for this, for us to be able to use this facility. So we're looking for different ways to be able to utilize this place and really make this the third place for Arizona State, for the kids and for the community here. Y'all have any questions?
So phase two is going to start the week after the last regular season home game here?
That's correct. So one of the things that we're doing, which makes Scott Owens and the Hunt team's job challenging, is we've got a hard start date, which is basically after the last game, and then we've got a game coming up in September. So their lives are a living hell for that construction time period. One of the questions that was raised earlier is, you know, how do they do this with multiple shifts? And the Hunt team's been really great about being able to meet the demands of doing a renovation project. How many of y'all have ever done a project at home? Never run into any issues, unforeseen consequences? Same thing with a stadium that's been consecutively built on for generations. So these guys are going to be able to work their way through next season and deliver every season as we go forward from here.
Talk about some of the other uses that you mentioned.
But one of the things the kids are really interested in is being in here. So we've been meeting, the students have a renovations committee. So they're looking at ways to energize the stadium once the thing is completed in 2017. They're really interested in being in here. So whether that is to run a variety of different student clubs and events, to be able to do all of their formal events, lots of different, there's a laundry list of probably 2 pages of ideas that the kids have got and that the community within ASU is coming up with to be able to do interviewing for jobs through the business school, using the suites and other aspects of the deal, being able to use the concourses for parties. We're bringing in a couple of different clubs in the future and being able to utilize those on non-game days. So we're really trying to take advantage of the yield and utilization that the stadium can provide for the community, and really the only limit to this is the creativity and imagination of the ASU community, which is pretty astounding.
You guys will work all the way up until when on this thing?
September the 1st is the delivery day for Sun, and the game is on September the 12th.
And then as far as concerned having a
stadium that's still under construction, going through a season? I mean, what concerns does that present?
Well, really, what we're doing is we're shutting down construction after September the 12th. I mean, after September the 1st here. So we will have the thing buttoned up. One of the things that we really need to let the fans know is really this is the beginning, not the end of this process. So ultimately, the students will come in from the southeast and southwest, and it'll be kind of their home this year because of the way that we're redoing the stadium, going from west back to east. Over the next 2 years, how you enter the stadium is going to change dramatically, and how this all works is going to be very, very different. But you know, it's like anything that you're doing in phases. It's going to be complicated in the early days in terms of just people who've been coming here for a generation or two finding their way back into the stadium. We're doing a lot of upfront information to try to get fans briefed on where everything is. But this first round is there will be. It's not going to be the same way that you've gotten into the stadium over the last 25 years.
Is the max capacity still around 58, or is that still a breathing number?
You were still working through that as we go.
How does the football team anticipate this impacting recruiting?
One of the reasons we're doing this is for recruiting, and Coach Graham and Tim Cassidy and the entire football team is incredibly fired up about this. The long-term vision of where we're going with this for the new student-athlete facility and for the stadium completely re-envisioned by 2017. Coach Graham's beyond fired up about this, and the kids that are coming in that he's recruiting, which are world-class caliber student-athletes, they're all extremely fired up about this.
That little spot above the student section, will that be a place where students can stand and watch as well?
Actually, that's the ADA platform.
Oh, okay.
So as you can see, the concourse is that level that we just finished pouring. So the ends, guys, as we go back around where you see the back of the bowl, as we walked up today, there's always been grade changes. So once the main concourse is done, everything will be at the same level as what you're seeing for this last pour right now. So for the first time walking around Sun Devil Stadium, you'll actually be able to be all on one level. With 40,000 seats going in the lower bowl, we'll get rid of the moat ultimately. So everything is ingress and egress is all coming down from new concession areas and new restrooms.